All right, we're doing section 3.3 today. We're doing something called function notation. It looks like this, function notation. It's just another name for y. So you've seen y equals 3x plus 5, stuff like that. That's no big deal. Really, this is just another name, and so the equations would look like this. It's just another name for y. So why do we have two other names for the same thing? Well, it comes in handy sometimes. So the way you read this is f of x, or the value of f of x. So that's how you read it. The parentheses do not imply multiplication here. It's not f times x, it's f of x. That means I'm going to plug in a value for x, and I'm going to find the value of that function at that time or at that point. You don't have to use f of x. It could be g of x, it could be h of x, and we will use multiple things to determine or indicate multiple functions. So, all that being said, let's look at, again, I'll rewrite so you can see f of x. So this is my function, and this is a typical problem. It says evaluate the function f of x when x equals 2 and x equals negative 2. So I'm telling you, all I'm doing is I'm telling you what values to plug in. So the way you write this is you tell me what number you're plugging in here, and then do the work. Do the math, negative 8 plus 7, negative 1. So this is how you would write this answer. F of 2 equals negative 1. And that's it, that's done. That's the answer right there. When you want to plug in negative 2, tell me the number you're plugging in. Plug it in. Do the math. Negative 1 is positive 8. Add that together. I get 15. So f of negative 2 is 15. That's supposed to be a cursive f that looks kind of funky. F of negative 2 equals 15. That's how it, basically that's how it goes for equations. So, another thing to do here is if it gives you a, just a word problem. So it says, let the function be the outside temperature at T hours after 6 a.m. T hours after 6 a.m. So T is time. So that's the number of hours after 6 a.m. So here, F of 0. So that means 0 hours after 6 a.m. So what time is 0 hours after 6 a.m.? 6 a.m. So let F be the outside temperature. Explain the meaning of each statement. So this means right here, it is 58 degrees at 6 a.m. So that's what this statement here means, because this is 0 hours after 6 a.m., which is 6 a.m. The temperature is 58. So here, F of 6 equals N. F of 6. So 6 is now being put in for T. So I am T hours after 6 a.m. What is 6 hours after 6 a.m.? Noon. What does this mean? Well, it means it's a variable. It's unknown. Okay? So you could phrase this a lot of ways. It is N degrees at noon. Okay? 6 hours after 6 a.m. is noon. It is N degrees. I don't know the temperature, it's N degrees. It's unknown, it's a variable. So what does this mean? So here, 3 hours after 6 a.m. What time is 3 hours after 6 a.m.? So it's 9 a.m. But it's not just 9 a.m. It's the temp at 9 a.m. What does this mean? 9 hours after 6 a.m. So what's 9 hours after 6 a.m.? So 6 a.m., 6 hours would be noon, 3 hours, that's 3 p.m. But it's not just 3 p.m., it's the temp at 3 p.m. So that's what this statement is telling us. The temperature at 9 a.m. is less than the temperature at 3 p.m. So again, the function has a value, and the thing inside the parentheses has a different value, okay? What you are plugging in or finding. Let's do another one, I think. Yeah, there'll be one here. So let's practice this. So evaluate the function. So it gives me -4, 0, and 3. So right here, number 1, I'm going to plug in -4, 0, and 3. So if I plug in -4, I should get -13. If I plug in 0, I should get -5, and I plug in 3, I get 1. I tell you what, let's go ahead and work through this one. I thought I was going to do some work. So number 1, we can always set this up with a table, okay, because it's still input and output. It is my input are x's, my output are f of x's. So if I input -4, put -4 in here, so that's -4 times 2 is -8 minus 5, I get -13. If my input is 0, put in 0 here, I get -5. If my input is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. So I'm still thinking about this as input, output, domain, range. All of those things from the last couple of chapters, last couple of sections, still are in play. Number 2, same thing. So I have, why is it a different letter? Well, we said in the beginning, you can use any letter. Okay, it doesn't have to be F all the time. So same input here, -4. If I put -4, negative is positive. 4 minus 1 is 3. Plug in 0. 0 minus 1 is -1. Plug in 3. -3 minus 1 is -4. Okay? If you have questions on that, pause the video, ask me questions. Example 2. Let F of T be the outside temperature T hours after 9 a.m. So again, hours after a certain time. So right here, what does this mean? So 3a, what does this mean? Well, I'm 4 hours after 9 a.m. So 10, 11, 12, 1 p.m. So the temperature is 75 degrees at 1 p.m. That's what this says. 3b. The temperature, the function equals 70. The temperature is 70. M hours after 9 a.m. I don't know how many hours I'm dealing with here. It's M hours after 9. So you just have to write it as such because you don't know any specific numbers. All right, so I look here. Oh, sorry. Write this down because I'm going to erase it. I need the room. So 3C. F of 2. So F of 2. 2 hours after 9 a.m. So that's 11 a.m. That's the temp at 11 a.m. equals the temp at, what's 9 after 9? So 9, 10, 11, noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. So the temperature at 11 a.m. equals the temperature at 6 p.m. That's what C is telling us. And finally, this last one here is 3D, 6 hours after 9 a.m. So 9, again, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m. So the temp at 3 p.m. is greater than F of 0. 0 hours after 9. 0 hours after 9 is still 9 a.m. So the temperature at 3 p.m. is greater than the temperature, and I don't know exactly what temperature is, I just know it's higher. Okay, so that's how we would do this without actually having a equation to plug things into. All right, so this one here, so this says h of x is 2/3 x minus 5. And this one says find the value of x where h of x equals -7. So this one we have to work backwards. I have to find x. And it tells me the value of the function is -7. So all we do here is plug in -7. Instead of plugging it in for x, we plug it in for the function. And then we just have to work backwards and solve the equation. +5, +5. What's the best way to deal with fractions? Multiply by the reciprocal. Calculators coming in handy for most of you here. Some of you know how to multiply your fractions very well. -6/2 -3 equals x. So x, if I would plug -3 in here, we can check this if we want to. I can go back and check. Just like we did in the beginning, plug in -3. Again, calculator's going to come in handy for this. Multiply these two together, I get -2. -2 minus 5 is -7. So when I plugged in -3, I got -7. You should not start by just guessing numbers. Take the value they give you, plug it in for the function, and solve the equation to get the answer right away. Right? And graph. So this says graph f of x equals 2x plus 5. So again, I'm going to go with that chart. I'm going to go with that table here. When I just tell you to graph and I don't give you a domain, you can pick any numbers you want for x. Pick anything you want. Me, I'll keep things simple. I'm going to go 0, 1, 2. That's all I'm going to grab. Okay. Sometimes you grab a -1, but I'm just going to go 0, 1, 2. So then just do the math, do the work. Plug in 0. 2 times 0 plus 5. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 2 times 1 plus 5. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 5 is 7. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9. Mr. Stevens, it takes so long. Yeah, it's going to take a minute. Pick about 3 of them. Don't do 2 of them. Do 3. And then you just draw yourself a little graph. Or you'll be on Big Ideas. There should be one there for you. 0, 5. Write 0 up 5. 1, 7. Write 1 up 7. 2, 9. There's your graph. All right. Pick any numbers you want. I'd recommend keeping them on the small side. And that's it for today. We're going to pick up with this next week. This is day 1. This stuff, function notation, will not be on your quiz tomorrow. Quiz tomorrow is only on 3.1 and 3.2, but we need to get this introduced. And we'll pick up on the second part of this with some more practice next week. All right, boys and girls, take it easy.